We'll finish off today with bad business. An old friend of mine has just started a new job. He was unhappy and frustrated in his previous position and had spent 3 months looking for something more suitable. A little while back he was offered a position that, though far from ideal, he was inclined to accept because nothing better had come along, and he was starting to get a bit desperate. He asked a potential new employer to send him an email detailing the package that was on offer. But the chap replied that he didn't have time to put it all down in writing, and anyway, they both already knew what the deal was. My friend felt he didn't have a formal job offer unless it was put to him in writing, and his circumstances were that he wasn't going to accept anything unless it was all down on paper. And, as a result, the employer lost the services of his preferred candidate for want of getting the paperwork sorted out. That was clearly bad business. But that's about as far as most commentators and business school professors will take it. Clearly this employer-entrepreneur should have invested in getting the admin sorted out. And they're right. The loss of the preferred candidate would have been greater than the loss incurred by fiddling around with the paperwork, instead of doing something he felt would be more constructive. But it's not really as easy as all that. You see, the establishment create the impression that drafting employment contracts, etc., doesn't cost anything and doesn't take any time. And if it does, then there's virtually an unlimited resource by way of the personnel department to deal with it. Obviously a viewpoint that comes from big business, and from people who've never run an enterprise of their own. Yes, clearly the higher priority would have been a written, detailed job offer. But I know from my own experience that when you're in the thick of it, there's often 1,000,001 things that need doing, and creating an additional mountain of paperwork just saps all your enthusiasm for life. So sure, it was bad business, but I would caution against being too quick to rush to judgment. Employing other people is incredibly time-consuming. The recruitment process is lengthy, and then there are all the managerial and supervisory matters to deal with once they join. As an entrepreneur myself, I sometimes resent the time it takes, and shortcuts, particularly if you can avoid pandering to what you see as someone else's fancies, are very attractive. But they can come at a high cost, and when you get it wrong, well, that's bad business.